name is Ruckus. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8. Hey, what's going on, Frank?
What's going on, Ruckus?
Hell if I know. And don't tell me if you find out. I like being in the dark.
So do I.
Yeah, I play stupid, and
So
stupid's winning.
do I.
All right, let me just go up here real quick. For those of you guys that are tuning in for the Flora week, this is day 3. It's really day 4, I guess, because Deb's
Sunday.
True Crime, put out a thing right after midnight on Sunday. So I appreciate everybody checking in and showing some support. It's a good cause. I love doing this stuff. And after this show tonight, I believe it's at 9 or 9:30. I think it's 9:30. Southern Gal
Yep.
True Crime
Yep.
is also
9:30.
doing one. So that'll be interesting. Hey, Jill, how are you? Cryptex, ¿cómo está, Jefe Grande? How you doing, brother? We got Faye in the house. Coach Kev. Coach, that was a great show you did, man. Very informative. I had a friend of mine who was a cop for like 15 years who still to this day says informationative. Wow, that was very informationative. That was informative, you idiot. Fire and Ice, Frosty in the house. Olivia. It's good to see you guys. I haven't been around for a while. There she is. Southern Gal True Crime. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be tuning into yours after this. But I've had some real life stuff going on. My mother-in-law passed away recently, and just one thing after another. I'm getting ready for this trip with Steve. Not that anybody gives a shit that they don't get to see my ugly mug. I rescheduled my live twice, maybe even 3 times. I'm going to do that one tomorrow night. And that's just on covering true crime. You know, how far do you go with it? The victims' families don't want to see most of this stuff. You know, you have to be cognizant of what you're saying. Deb, hello. Jinx, hello. Phil Bond, what's up, K-Babe? 63 Clocks, Night Shadow. Let's see. Brandon, what's going on, brother? I've been watching your channel. You got some good stuff. Clever, what's going on? We got the same crew. We got the cool kids table. Teresa the Troll, how are you? It's the first time I've seen that name. Audrey Abbott. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is along those lines a little bit. You know, nobody really shows much interest in this case as a whole. And I'm talking about the true crime community. Hey, Kathy. And I understand that people like the drama and stuff like that. But, man, this has, you know, arson, cover-up, corruption, nepotism, you know, all kinds of stuff. The shit with the
Sneaky shit.
Yeah, is it the county commissioners that are holding back the 911?
According to me, what I've researched, dude, Aisha Hesney, which used to work for Fox 59 in Indianapolis, she works for Fox News now in Washington, D.C. She's the one that filed a lawsuit against Carroll County, and she won, and the court ordered them to release the 911 call, and they never did.
Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, I mean, didn't they fight it in court? And it was like 30 grand?
Yep.
And then what was funny, and, you know, I don't believe that Delphi and Flora are connected at all.
No.
But it's just funny that Nick had recently gone to them trying to get $5,000. Hey, CJK. And they told him, no, you cannot have $5,000. But then they spent 30 grand to keep the 911 tape sealed.
Think about it. Who's on the board at Carroll County?
Any of the heirs?
Brother. Yes, Josh's brother.
Okay. Hi, Diddums. Swings and roundabouts, Diddums. Swings and roundabouts. D, wow, I haven't seen D in a while. How are you, dear? It's been a hot minute since I've seen D. Robin, how are you? Well, I'm glad you're doing better. That back surgery is the worst. I've never had it personally, but it's hard to recover from that, Robin. So I hope you're doing well. I'd rather have 2 more shoulders replaced than mess around with a bad back.
Check your phone.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me.
You do what you want to do. I can't believe we're growing our beards in this damn 80, 90 degrees.
Dude, it rained to all get out here a little while ago. I mean, the
Oh,
skies
yeah.
opened up. It's a lake out back, and it's humid as shit.
It's
And I
supposed to be
went
in
out.
the 90s this weekend, all next week here.
I'd take that. That's a break for me. Shit. Melissa Wildcard, how are you? But what do you guys? I want this to be kind of interactive, okay? Because you guys are true crime fans. What makes this case different than all of these other ones? That Karen Reed case is blowing up, and this has every bit as much intrigue as that. Boston Christian, how are you? Now you have to take Delphi, Frank, and throw that one out because Delphi is a different animal. But
Yeah.
I cover other cases and
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Hey, Justice Ginger. I don't get much feedback. I don't get many comments. I don't get many views.
Uh,
And
Let me ask you this. When
hi,
did
Brandon.
all the crime scene photos and stuff start coming out on this case?
On Flora,
Yeah. Like the inside of the house after the fire and things of that nature.
I saw
The,
those pretty quick after, right about when Kevin and I did that live. The dash
well,
cam footage came
right,
out, and then those
right.
pictures like followed right behind it.
Well, I mean, just looking from the inside, outside in, it almost seems like if they weren't being very transparent, that's why a lot of stuff wasn't covered on this case. I mean, yeah, like me, Marv, Randy, and True Crime Beat did a whole week's worth of Delphi nearly 3 years ago. It was all over the civil suits. And
Hmm.
that's all we could cover because there was nothing else out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, Lee and Susan. Sleuth, what's up, brother? James, how are you? It's good to see Sleuth getting out and about.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Sleuth, man, prayers to you, man, for losing your man's best friend the other day.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Bear. Yeah, that kills me, dude.
Yeah.
I still get choked up thinking of my older dogs that from when I was a kid and stuff.
It just makes me think of something like that would happen with Blade. I mean, I think I'd lose all my marbles.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, David, exactly. 30 grand to hide the 911 tape to keep it sealed. I don't understand that. Um, why? Now during Kev's live, he put up a screenshot of the CAD, the computer
Mm-hmm.
assisted dispatch thing. And on the top line, it said that, talking to somebody upstairs because I think Air's wife went up to the second floor and knocked on their door as well. When she called 911, I think she was on that platform. But in that CAD report, it said, um, person calling from the second floor, there's 4 children on the first floor. So maybe there was confusion there. Maybe the firefighters got there and they didn't know the girls were on the second floor. They thought the second floor was clear because both of those adults came out and said there was
Well,
nobody
wouldn't
else
you?
on the second floor.
Well, didn't Galen was yelling at them when they were there? They're on the second floor.
Dude, I'm here to tell you 11 times out of 10, when you have a mother screaming and pointing and saying the kids are in that room, the kids are in that room.
Right.
I'm talking about the initial response and maybe why the 911 tape wasn't released. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm speculating, total speculation here. But if the call went out and it said that that there was 4 children on the bottom floor, that may be a mistake that they're looking for
Right. Right.
because the secrecy thing works. Let me bring that back up, LA. secrecy thing works. Like things seem off, but you just keep hitting dead ends. On Karen Reed, they are able to land some planes. I I watched a little bit of that Karen Reed today and that Trooper Proctor.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, I've
Now
got,
there.
ever since I've started doing lives, and, it's all through support of you guys. I do this, because of you guys support me. And there's been two viewers that have supported me since Jump Street, since day one. And I know they're both in chat because I have two thumbs down. So I want to thank you guys for supporting me and being here because you've always, since Jump Street, I've always gotten two thumbs down. So I know there's at least two people that are watching. All right. So we've got the 911 tapes, right? Those are sealed. But we've
Mm-hmm.
got the whole Ayers thing, right? And then the Randall thing, the nepotism is crazy in this case. The refusal to release court ordered public material reeks of cover up. It sure does, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, me and you talked about this a few hours ago, and I gave you what my opinion was.
Let's
I
hear it here.
I think it was more or less an insurance job that went wrong. I don't
Yeah,
think that whoever did this didn't expect that fire to spread so quickly. I mean, me and you talked about this. That house is so damn old. I can guarantee it wasn't up to specs when it comes to drywall, to the electrical wiring, because this day and age, when they do an inspection of a home, if you don't have fire tartan drywall, you're not renting shit.
Hmm. Hey, Cecil. Well, I
You
agree.
know.
Well, this was a actually, let me see if I can bring this up real quick, just so I can show you guys. It was kind of prevalent in New England back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
but this type of framing, there's platform framing and then there's bubble framing, and this house was bubble framed. Let me see if I can find this picture, and I'll just show it to you guys so I can explain it to you. The most common way of framing now is platform framing, right? And
Right.
let me bring this down a little bit. It will cover up my mug. We don't want to cover up your handsome face. All right, so to the left, you can see the platform framing. That's where they build the whole first floor. They put on the floor joists or the roof trusses for if it's a single story for the roof or if it's a two-story, then they build the second story on top of that platform. To the right, you can see. Can you see this, Frank? This picture?
Yeah, just
Okay.
fine. I've seen it on my laptop too.
Okay. To the right is balloon framing. That's the way this house was built. It's where they use long studs, long 2x4s that go from the first floor all the way up to the roof trusses. And
Yep.
when this was built, they didn't use drywall. They use lats, which are like one, not even an inch, half inch by 2 inches, and they put those together and then they plaster over that. And there's not much insulation, if any. So that fire, if it starts on the first floor or in the basement, it's going to get up those walls quick. It's going to escalate. Things are going to get out of control.
Right.
And I'm sure that Kev has fought a fire or two in a balloon framed house. He could probably tell us a little bit better. But that's so they weren't up to code. There's a lot of back and forth going on about the smoke alarms.
Mm-hmm.
The fire investigator said that the batteries weren't in. Now you should be able to
Right.
tell that because the contacts for those 9-volt batteries, there'd be soot inside those cups, those contacts. So if there's soot in there, then you know there wasn't a battery in there. But since they lost them, we'll never know. And here's another aspect to this case too that I'm surprised it doesn't get more attention. And I'm talking, it should get attention anyways. It's a tragedy. But if you're into this, if you like to see all of this investigative stuff and corruption and drama and stuff like that, there was also a whistleblower involved. Somebody sent an email up the chain quick, sent it to a bunch of people saying that, hey, this investigation was totally wrong. They did it wrong. They're doing an injustice to those children. And that's what got the ball rolling. If that whistleblower didn't send that email, Frank, we'd never hear of any of this shit probably.
Right, right.
You know? So it amazes me that there's not more interest in this case on that side. I mean, it's a tragedy. I covered this for the girls, and for Galen, you know, but there's not as much of the extracurricular bullshit going on as Delphi, but it's close.
Just give it
It's
a little
close.
while.
Yeah.
I think once the Delphi case ends, hopefully this coming soon, I wouldn't be surprised that it'll start up with Flora.
Hmm.
Period. Because everybody's attention's on Delphi right now, and then they're not going to have shit to do once it's over with. So I'm seeing Flora as being the next target for all these bimbos and wackos out there.
Well, I'm hoping that when Flora's, I mean, when Delphi's done, that it'll open up Nick to work on
Yeah,
this one a little more. Hey, Cecil, how
right.
are you? I saw you earlier,
Exactly.
but I didn't want to interrupt Frank. Yeah, she said they were on the second floor. Now, I don't know if the couple that were living on the second floor called 911 or not. I know Air's wife did, but she called her brother-in-law first to let him know that his house was on fire. So that's something else, you know. And like I said, for the people that like the drama and they like the suspicion and all that, I mean, this case is perfect. I'm surprised there's not more people involved. This needs to be out there more. There's a bunch of cases that need to be out there more. But this week is a good start. We did this last year, but it was the first time, so not much information got out. But this needs to happen like every 6 months with different cases, in my opinion, like the Jordan Sofer case, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, Evansdale. It's just some things just need to be out there so people can see it. Phil Bond, 9.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That may just put me over the minimum, the $100 minimum for this month. That's the thing. You don't do shows, you don't get paid. YouTube wants to get that ad money. Trying to develop a strobe light with very loud alarm that will fit the bedpost or wall next to the kids' room. Yeah, boss, it's scary, isn't it? It's very scary. And burning car, burning house. When people need help, you help them. Even though you could get hurt. Solar Chef Steph, how are you, dear? But and Kev will tell you, firefighters do not like cops going into house fires. They call us blue canaries because they waste more time saving our stupid ass before they can get to the fire. Dash van cam footage, you can hear it giving them detailed directions where the girls were. Yes, absolutely. And like I said, 11 times out of 10, if mom says the kids are in that room, that's where they're at.
I do believe that they more than likely have a person of interest. Probably
Hey,
just
Mel.
don't have anything on them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a sad story, and I wish there was more attention to it.
Mm.
Maybe people need to start calling the news stations
Yeah.
and saying, "Hey, we need to
Yeah.
get this out there, get more attention to it."
Well, we've got some good people that are involved with this case, so I'm sure it'll pick up some steam now. Um, hey, Marv, I'm sure it'll pick up some steam now, but it's been too long. I mean, this happened a couple months before Delphi.
Yeah, exactly.
Troll Shovel, Randy in the house. What's going on, brother?
He's that one his name. Troll shovel.
Yeah, yeah.
And
How do
by
you
the
not
way,
pay the locker storage fee? Yeah, that's how the fire investigator took the evidence from the Flora Fire and he put them in a container and put it in a storage locker. A rental locker. Well, he didn't pay it and he lost it, so he lost the evidence.
what?
Yeah, so they don't even have those fire alarms anymore. That's what I was saying. They don't even have them to look at them anymore.
I mean, like I said, I do believe it's just my opinion because Josh Ayers has had several different properties that caught on fire. Think about it.
Hmm.
That house, how old is the house? When was it built?
In the 40s, I believe.
Who wants to spend the money to get a house and refurbish the whole inside? It's going to cost you more than what you paid for the house.
Oh, no
I
doubt.
mean,
No
common
doubt.
sense tells you this could be an insurance job that went awry and went wrong.
But it didn't appraise it that much, I don't believe. Let me
If
get this
it appraised
question.
it, yeah.
Don't some LE take personality tests before getting hired? How can someone like a fire starting fetish make it to the fire department? Like Al Bundy, shoe salesman, he didn't have a foot fetish. Well, there's assholes in every line of work, and there's idiots in every line of work. And Brandon, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, I've been around for a minute now. Shit, almost 2 years. October will be 2 years. Where's the time gone, man? Yeah, and sealing that 911 tape. I don't get it. I don't get what the big deal is. You
Something on
know?
that tape they don't want heard.
Yeah, I mean, is it something, and I'm speculating here, is it something that the dispatcher said maybe didn't do their job, or is it something the caller said, or is it something in the background on the
Right.
scene?
Yeah, that's what I was leaning toward.
But that Yoder's dash cam was an eye opener, though. At least we got to see real time. What happened. Got to see him and who's the other guy? This
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Dessinger or something like that.
Yeah,
Dessinger. They went
that's
in.
in
They
yeah.
tried. You know.
But how long before, from the time the call was made, why did it take so long for them to arrive at the scene?
Well, that's a volunteer fire department, so it's not manned. And the
Right.
only person that was in it, because you can walk to it. Steve and I went there, and you see it on video and stuff. And Sleuth, I'll get to this question in 1 second. You think, how the hell that Yoda had to drive there and tell them to come? Well, he didn't tell the fire department to come. The only person that was in there was an IT guy working late at night on their computer system. And like Kev says, that's when you tell them, well, you're a firefighter tonight, come with me.
I
But
wonder if there was any of the firefighters that lived right there in Flora.
they must have. They must have been a volunteer. All right, let's get to sleuths here. Could the killer have targeted one of the other residents in the home? Do we know anything about the other adults living in the home? Maybe retaliation for something. I haven't heard anything. On Kev's show last night, he played the interview with the boyfriend living upstairs. But and that's why I was showing you guys the difference between the framing of the homes. Any more time, that fire would have engulfed that home.
Right.
10 more minutes. And when they broke that front window to bring the flames to them,
Oh Lord, that
that
was a mistake.
no, actually Kev said that they do that on purpose. Sometimes they use a fan at the rear of the building, Frank.
But
But you
well,
have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you're going to have a situation.
well, my understanding is that oxygen fuels fire. So why would you bust a window open
Because it'll draw it towards you.
toward
They
the
assess the fire
oxygen?
when they get there. Whoever's in charge, they assess the fire when they get there. And you can see by the pictures on the inside, Frank, if you notice, maybe not exactly, but about halfway up the wall and higher
Mm-hmm.
is black.
Right.
Down below it isn't as bad. It's sooty, but it's not as bad. So that they figured that the fire was moving quickly, so they wanted to bring it up, towards the front rather than go in after it, let it come to you. And
Right.
look how
Right.
fast they got it out. They were right. As soon as they put water on it, that smoke went from black, which is bad, to gray, which is that's good job, boys. Once it starts turning gray, they got water on it. And they're doing their job. Frank, I looked at my phone. I didn't understand.
You're good.
Okay. Let me see what Randy has to say. But one thing is, the stair was too close to the kitchen. Yeah, that layout of the house is odd. They should never have allowed that. when they turned that into a duplex, Frank, that's when the inspection should have taken place, and that's when they should have had to have hardwired smoke detectors, put in
Yeah.
drywall, or what have you.
Right.
But it's a business. He's not trying to spend money; he's trying to make money. You know,
That's totally understandable, but you've got to spend money for adequate housing, man. Come on. I mean,
sure.
there ain't. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was well aware that the drywall was plaster, which is very flammable. And he had to have known this. If you own
Up,
homes, you
James.
know this stuff.
Yeah. So, but they had influence in that community. I mean, they own the hardware store.
Oh yeah, wasn't he on the council board too there in
Yeah.
Flora?
And Frosty knows they had the hardware store because after all of this, like
Yep.
last year, he went in and asked if they sold smoke detectors. What an asshole. But this, there is no doubt, right? After almost 2 years doing this, learning about that whole community, Carroll County, the good old boy system's alive and well. There's no doubt about that. And the nepotism runs rampant. They don't play that shit down here in Florida. But not only, I mean, once Randall got elected to the top dog, well, his kid was the fire chief of a volunteer fire department.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
guess, but that was a paid position because he was a chief, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Kev on that. If Kev even knows, I'm sure that every state runs it differently.
Now,
But
was he was Randall the chief or was he the fire marshal?
he was for National Homeland Security, Indiana Homeland Security, whatever it is. He was the top dog, and he was on scene, from what I understand. Galen and four girls lived in the apartment downstairs and had a bedroom upstairs. Then there was a couple and their child that lived in the other half of the upstairs apartment. Yeah, now the child wasn't there. I don't think he has sole custody. According to that interview, the child was not there. But this has all the intrigue, Frank. Where are all the people that are outraged over all these other cases to me that are silly? That and they love it. They eat it up. And
How many properties did Josh own in Flora?
no idea. And how many of them caught on fire?
Well, not only that, I'm talking about residents where people were living that he was renting to. What if they
Hmm.
knew something and they were like, man, we're not saying shit because we're not going to be on the streets if we say something? You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
things like that happen.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I've seen the
You-
good old boy system. I've been on both sides of it. But Jesus,
I mean,
this case needs more eyes on it.
it's just so suspicious that he's had other properties and stuff like that catch on fire. And no one said anything about that, but all of a sudden this happens. No one's talking about it. Period.
Yvonne, I
What?
don't know if Kristen is on tomorrow night. I think no, Greeno's tomorrow night.
Yeah, Kristen's tomorrow night too.
Oh, is she? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Are
it's
you going
almost
on
like
with
that.
Kristen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like the town of Flora is under a gag order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it seems like to me because, I mean, I haven't followed this case a whole lot in the last year or so. I haven't heard any residents or people from there been on the news talking about it, or I haven't heard anybody on any other channels talking about, well, this resident here wants to talk or has been talking and said stuff. I haven't heard none of that stuff. And like
Hmm.
I said, me, Marv, Randy, and True Crime Beat covered this nearly 3 years ago, and we didn't hear anything of the sorts back then either.
Sleuth, if you ever get a chance, look at the lease agreement that Galen signed. It's not even a full page, dude. It's not even a full page. You fill out more to adopt an animal than you do for that lease. It was ridiculous. Um, Yeah, it's this whole thing sucks. I've seen most of the legal stuff, and I've seen the depositions and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, we get Tim Corbett involved with this, you watch that shit blow up. And
Somebody got the
he's
money to print off all the paperwork to send him.
yeah, he's willing to do it. You know, I should print up everything that I have and take it on the road because we'll be going through Indiana. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
thought
reach out
about
to him.
I thought about reaching out to Tim when it comes to the Jordan case, give him the whole file, let him review it and see what he thinks.
Yeah, he may be interested in that as well. Now, I met Tim Corbett because I saw him on Sleuth's channel. That's how
Hmm.
I first became aware of Tim. Now, I'd heard his name before because he's worked some national cases and he solved some as well. Turning a common family home into an upstairs downstairs duplex leads to many problems. Absolutely. 100%. All right, got a couple super chats. LA, thank you very much. $1.99. I appreciate it. Super sticker. And we've got Miranda Lee. 199 super chat. Southern Gal True Crime is on after this. 9:30 p.m.
And by the
Absolutely.
way, I didn't say there was a gag order in Florida. I said I'm surprised. It seems like everybody's been gagged to keep shut their mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just seen we got OG do dirty in here too. What's up, OG?
Because there's somebody in that town that knows what happened.
Well, we know at least one person does.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. We know at least one other person does. But could it have been a firefighter? Yes. Could it have been law enforcement? Absolutely.
Yep.
But we
Hmm.
just don't know. At first, they said it was an accident. I think Galen even sued General Electric because
Right.
they said it started in the stove or the refrigerator or something. So, but then it got changed to an arson, and I don't know if that happened after the whistleblower or before the whistleblower did his thing because they immediately cleaned everything out of there first thing in the morning as soon as the fire was out, basically. Before the fire inspector got there, but Randall was on scene from what I understand, so he makes that call. So if there's any fingers to be pointed, it's at him. But guess what he did? Resigned.
How much do you get paid though? That's the question.
Yeah, and then his son resigned. You know,
So
so
what does that tell you though? I mean, isn't that kind of suspicious? It's out of nowhere they resigned.
yeah. Well, we all know it wasn't out of nowhere. But you know, it's the good old boy system. You know, people keep that shit down on the down low. You know, most of our community's fires are a result of arson, mainly insurance related. Yeah, unfortunately. And how about this, Frank? There's been a rash of fires, unsolved fires in that area
Hmm.
that have deaths and they're unsolved and they're arsons. So do we have a serial arsonist running around? You know, I just don't understand why this doesn't get more attention.
Now, what kind of accelerant did they end up saying they believe they found in the house?
I don't think they said. I think they just said accelerants. Now, Ayers said that he saw a 2-inch wide line of fire running through the kitchen. So I don't know.
I mean, the picture that Kev's always showed, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it that shows in the kitchen, it looks like a big round circle in the middle of the kitchen where an accelerant was poured and they lit it right there because you usually could see where accelerants were laid after a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it looked like to me. Was it right there in the middle of the kitchen?
Yep. Uh-oh. Somebody put a one in the chat for something, and I didn't catch it. I don't know what everybody's typing one for. Or is that an I?
I don't know.
Dude, I'm dumb as a box of rocks. All right. OG Do Dirty with the super chat. Those of you who don't know OG, he's over on LA's channel a lot. OG's good people, man. Thank you very much, OG. Gonna give you some of this. The only thing I don't like about this program now, when I click from that and go back over, it goes all the way back up to the beginning. That's how I miss shit. Like, why are people typing one in the chat? Now, the
I
burn
didn't even.
pattern on the floor of the mudroom, that's where it
Yeah,
started, I think. Yeah, I've seen all those pictures. Now, Kev, he knows what to look for. And he said, you look for a V. Like if your blender catches on fire, you'll see a V on the wall behind it.
right,
But if there's accelerants involved, um, I don't think that would be the case. It'd be a little bit more evenly distributed. Distributed.
right.
There I go, distributed. I'm right up there with the informationative. But if we get some eyes on this, get some more coverage, I believe we can make some waves. I just don't know what it's going to take. This case has everything. So are we just not getting it out there? If you like the drama, if you like the, could be crooked law enforcement, could be crooked fire department, all that stuff. People love that kind of stuff. This has all of it. It has everything. So, what's going on? Why don't we have any more attention to this case? Why are we having um, so many eyes on other cases that are basically they're in the trial state now? We can't even get this one to trial. We haven't even found out who did it yet. We don't know where they're at. I know there's no gag order because Tim was involved with this for a hot minute, and he made some phone calls and he said there's no gag orders. Yeah, but he got right back up. He got right back up. We all know why. But that's not why I'm
mm-hmm.
here. That's not why
Right.
I'm here. I'm trying to get eyes on this case. These four little girls in this picture up here, they got three of them out, and you can see it on the dash cam footage.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
fourth one was hiding under the bed, so they were aware that there was a fire, and they felt trapped. That the way that house was built, that set of stairs going upstairs, basically turned into a chimney. And then in
Oh,
the hallway, there's a wall now where there wasn't used. That was just the steps upstairs to go to the upstairs part of the single family home. Well, when they made it into a duplex, there's just that one bedroom upstairs. So there's just a short hallway, and then they walled off the rest of the upstairs and made it another apartment. So that smoke went up there and had nowhere to nowhere to go except for into the girls' room. And it's 63 clocks. It is absolutely heartbreaking. This did not have to happen. Um, Now, Doug Carter, and I like Doug Carter, and I respect Doug Carter. He said that whoever set this fire, their intent was not to kill those girls. So, what does that mean, Frank? And again, here's some more suspense for people. You've got the top dog and ISP saying this. That means something. So why is he saying that? How is he so sure that that wasn't the goal? You know what I mean? What do they have?
yeah.
They
And
have
that's
more
what.
information.
Go ahead.
No, good. That was it. They have more
Uh,
information.
it's like, I mean, you were talking about earlier today. You know, I felt from when we did this case a couple of years ago that it seemed like to me that an insurance job, but they wasn't intending to kill anybody. And that's
Hmm.
where I came in and said, look, it almost sounds like they didn't realize that this place was going to go up in flames that quick because of how old the house is. It wasn't up to date on anything. Whoever did this didn't know that. That's how I feel about it at this point in time.
And now the garage door. When me and Steve went there, I was tempted to go in there, but Frosty just had the police called on him like a week prior to that for going underneath the steps. But the garage door didn't lock. You could get in through that garage door, the big door, and you could get into the mudroom, which also didn't lock. So there was definitely access to it. So that kind of takes the whole, well, that they must have known them intimately and had a key or knew how to get in or knew where key was hitting. All that's out the window because none of that locked.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Didn't I see something about the doors didn't lock and stuff like that too?
Yeah, the back door. I don't know about the front door, but I know the back door. You could definitely get in. You can get. I think you could get to the basement as well. But yeah, Kathy, exactly. And he said Galen is not a suspect. You know. Now Tim Corbett told me. He said the first thing I need to do is talk to Galen, but she was shielded. Solar Chef Steph. Did Carter say this to try and draw the person out, thinking they wouldn't be in much trouble, or does something actually indicate the intention wasn't to kill? We don't know. That's the thing. I don't know anyway. Somebody does, but it's intriguing. It's a tragedy. It's a travesty. It's sad as hell. Um, but it's also intriguing. So you have to say to yourself, what could the motive be? Like Sleuth said, did he have something against somebody in the house? One of the adults? Was it payback? Or is this just somebody like starting fires? That happens. You can ask Coach
Right.
Kev. Some of these pyros, man, they'll light anything on fire and just to watch it burn.
I do know that a few years back there was some fires going on, and I think they caught the guy. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was in Florida. I think it was in Carroll County. I think they did catch that guy.
Now James agrees with you. He thinks it's probably insurance. But and I've gotten different numbers on the appraisal. Uh, somebody said it appraised for a high number, and somebody said it appraised
Deb,
for a low number.
Deb knows the exact number because I think she had the actual appraisal.
Okay,
And
Jinx said that the back door was never locked because the breaker panel, the people on the second floor had to have access to the breaker panel when they popped. So that's why they
see
never
that's
locked it.
see that's crazy right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That is nuts. That means basically saying you have to enter somebody else's domain to turn your shit on and off.
right. And from what I understand, the garage door, the automobile door, never worked. So you could just pull that thing open. It wasn't a roll up; it was a flip out, old style one, because it's an
Yeah,
old house.
right.
But when you go there, um, I was taken aback a little bit on how close the houses are together. If you watch that dash cam footage, you see a car pull out um, between the houses. And when I looked, I mean, that was a small area. The house hadn't been torn down yet. So that's the driveway for the house next door. And it's like right up against that home.
That house take any damage?
No. Uh-uh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
But what was another thing was yeah, see 44,000 is what it appraised for.
Right.
It,
That's I
and
knew it was in the 40s somewhere.
and Becky works for a company that does that type of stuff, and I'd imagine there's not many in that area, so she actually did that appraisal. So that's why people were thinking they were tied together, and it's ridiculous to even say that. Yeah, slumlord, no doubt. No doubt, Yvonne. I agree 100% with
Oh,
you.
Indiana is very famous for slumlords because there's not a whole lot of laws that they can hold against these slumlords.
Right. But how do we get this out there?
I can
I'm
I
not a
can
big channel.
I can call Fox 59 because you guys know I know a couple people there and I've been working with them. I can call them and see what they can do. I mean, it's the only thing I can do. You
Mm.
know, more news coverage where people are seeing this on the news, and I mean, people are going to think, man, it's time to start talking.
They've done some pretty good news things on it, but not enough for me. James, I agree. Okay, crooked firefighters, crooked cops piss me off.
I don't think Yoder was crooked. Honestly, I don't
I
because
don't either.
he ran his ass in there.
Yeah, he was talking about a firefighter in Kokomo who would start fires with citronella oil and then be the hero, save people.
Well, I've seen a lot of documentaries where firefighters will do that. They'll set the fire, and so they can go and be the one to fight it and see what kind of work they did. You know what I mean? Or they go back to the scene while they're putting the fire out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Kev said he had one. If the guy didn't return, he was drunk in the middle of the day, threw a roll of paper towels on the couch, lit it on fire, and killed 4 people. And if
Oh
he wasn't
my.
there watching it and didn't say he did it, they probably still wouldn't know who did it. Yeah, Red Queen, and hello, by the way, and hello, SP74. Yes, those poor children. I mean, there's nothing. You talk about fear. They didn't know what to do. They
It
did
kind
not
of
know what to
when
do.
when I saw the dash cam video of one of the firefighters bringing the girls out, my heart dropped when I saw that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
actually, honestly, I have never witnessed anything like that. Even an adult being brought out of a blazing home, I've never seen it anything like that. Period.
Mm,
And like I said, my heart sunk when I saw when they brought one of the babies out of there.
yeah, dude, I'm telling you. And that's another thing. And I don't even like talking about it. But if it's going to bring more attention to the case, so be it. But the way they treated those girls after the fire, they laid them out on the floor in the fire department on the cement floor. Now, and somebody just said Yoda was a hero, and I agree 100%, 100%. But here's what I don't agree with. They brought those girls out. They weren't called yet. And what that means was a medical examiner had not examined them and pronounced them
Right.
deceased. So, and this is just my opinion. So fuck Drew Yoder. You put them girls in that helicopter and you get them to the hospital.
Right. Like he put
Not
himself
Yoder.
before that's
Yeah. And
disagreed.
I'm nothing against Drew. I think he's a great guy and I applaud him. But you know,
Putting yourself before them girls was the wrong
well, it's not
thing.
his fault. EMS made that call to send him out. Dude, he almost died, that poor guy. But I'm saying they should have got those girls to the hospital, not to the floor in the fire department. So I just that shit pisses me off. I mean, that's
Yeah.
against the law.
Yeah. And why hadn't anything been done about that? That's my question.
Yeah,
We understand what's going on with the investigate. Well, honestly, we don't know what's going on with the investigation. But one aspect of the investigation, a law was broken in the state of Indiana. What they did with them girls. Why was it no charges or anything done with that?
right. Hey, humanimal. Yeah, they're definitely slumlords, but they're all over. Slumlords are everywhere, and I don't know if people are willing to pay to live in their properties. I bet the larger media outlets are intimidated by all the legwork it'd take to peel away so many layers of this onion. The case has been very successful, muddy by those wanting it kept secret. Yeah, I agree. But there's a lot of people who have done the legwork. I think between probably 5 to 10 people, they know all there is to know. See, there's been, and I'm not going to dive into this, but there's been some gatekeeping on this case. There's been people who have held on to information and didn't want to share it. Well, now that's over. Now the information's pouring out, and there's people that really care about this case, that know Galen personally, knew her children. So we need to support them and to get whatever we can into the right hands. That's why I want to get Tim Corbett back involved. But Tim's old school. You can't tell Tim, hey, go click on this link and there's all your information. No. He wants a file. He's old school. So, we need to get that information to him. And he knows everybody in Indiana. He makes some phone calls and boom. Yeah, Humanimal, I never understood that whole thing, how they treated those girls after they got them out of the home. You don't ever give up, especially with children. You don't give up, and they were not pronounced. I don't know
Hey,
who made that decision. I haven't seen that yet. Have you, Frank? Does
no, and
anybody in
I can.
chat know who made the decision to bring the girls to the fire department?
What you can do is do a major protest right in front of City Hall
Hmm.
down up there. Get a
Yeah. See,
massive
this
group
is
of people.
worth doing a groundswell for.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, this is worth doing that. Thank you,
I mean, I'm
Deb.
down
Deb
for
has a
that.
bunch of information. She doesn't have it all, but
Right.
she has a bunch of information too. We just need to get everything rounded up. And I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I don't have time. I'm working on other cases that I can't just. You spread yourself too thin. Um, so someone needs to take control of this and acquire all of this information and get it prepared. And if we can get it to Tim, that's that's huge. That's
Jinx
huge.
says she, Jinx says she's unconfirmed, but there is one person who I've narrowed it down to.
As a suspect, a POI.
That's what that's what I'm. That's the way I'm taking it.
Okay.
Is she's right down toward the bottom of the chat.
Okay. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's heartbreaking, and that's what I'm saying. There's more than one way to tell this story, right, Frank? And some
Exactly.
people
I
they
mean,
just love the drama. Well, that's here. Some people like the corruption and the dirty cops. That's here. Dirty law enforcement, dirty firefighters. That's all here. Why are people not following this case?
hey, go back to that last comment.
Which one? Lisa?
The Yeah, totally understand what you're saying, Lisa. And I wouldn't expect Galen to know that either. But Josh knew the conditions of that home.
Sure he did. Yeah, absolutely. And
And
that
for him, that weak ass lease, whatever the hell you want to
yeah,
call
that I
it,
was just gonna say that thing's disgusting. It's less than a page. It's like
right?
two sentences.
And you go to an apartment. Anytime I've ever rented a house, you still have about 4, 5, 6 pages of things you got to read through. It gives you the script, all the appliances is in there. What's all you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Comes with the house. I didn't see none of that on that lease.
Yeah,
None.
there really wasn't much on there, and that's why it's so hard to nail down somebody like that is a slumlord. You know,
But
but
I am down for a groundswell up there. I can tell you that right now.
yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Unconfirmed, but there's one person who I've narrowed it down to. Yeah, and I know
Um,
Jinx is really passionate about this. And
Birchwood, one of the insurance companies, knew about the conditions.
yeah, there's some really good people that are interested in this case and that keep these girls' name alive. And Marv's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Deb's True Crime Notebook and Kathy Clendenning. It's just there's some really good people, but I'm not big enough channel to carry this to where it needs to go. I'll do whatever I can to help, but it's we need to get some national attention on this case. I keep running across Whiteman.
Yeah. Why
Whiteman
I
named my
keep seeing.
Flora research, and now I think RA used that name on purpose. Are you researching Flora, Lisa? Because if you guys can all get together, um, it's there's a crazy amount of information that's out there. I've read most of it. I've looked at most of it, mostly because I wanted to have an intelligent conversation with Tim Corbett. When I asked him to get involved, but none of it makes sense. you know, you think you're going in the right direction, and then they pull you in another direction. You know,
Randy says we have the next walk. We can map out the next walk for Florida. A memorial walk and a groundswell is completely different.
yeah.
It is.
But where do you do the groundswell?
The
At the TV
groundswell.
station or at the
No, you
city?
do it
But
right. You the city, county, whatever building they use for their government there in Florida. That's where you do it at. You do it during the week while they're there on the job.
hmm, yeah. Well, we need to get some eyes on Flora. We need to get it to the right channels, and it's just in today's day and age, numbers work. And use this social media positively. To spread the word about this case. Let's get this case jumping. Everything's there. You know. Yeah, Brandon sits on the council where he lives. So he's aware of all this stuff, how these fire departments operate and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys have watched Brandon's channel, but it's Brandon Barragy.
Yeah.
Bear agree. I'm sorry, Brandon, I butchered your name. Go
Jake
check him
said
out.
she Jake said she's not going if it's called a groundswell.
Yeah, yeah. I apologize. I meant that as an example, as what to do. Look, this will get some hate, and I know it's useless anyway. But as a mama, I'm putting the batteries in, whether landlord should or not. No, I agree, Humanuel. I agree with you 100%. 100%. But you have to. We don't know whether they were in or not. I mean, it could be a moot point. You know. So I don't know. I don't know. They should be hardwired, should they not? Um, Coach Kev said they're all lithium ion batteries. There's no more 9 volts. Yeah, Deb, I agree. I'm just afraid that none of us are big enough, to have any real impact, to have any outreach. Um, I think it'll take somebody like Tim Corbett, to get involved. Hey, Mary, because everything is there. Everything is there. And the nice thing about Tim is he's not going to find something out and then keep it to himself. I mean, he called
Nope.
me as soon as he hung up with the judge. He called me back, said, "Nope, there's no gag order. That person's full of shit. There's no gag order." Well, good. I'm glad Lisa's aboard. Welcome aboard, Lisa. Just for the sake of the girls, I wish I could do more. But I can't really do justice. I don't really like. This is an unsolved case as well. But I'm working with victims' families on other cases, and I'm not doing them any justice if I'm spreading myself too thin. Going out on the road this Sunday for a month with Steve, and we're working with victims' family, working these cases. Even if
I
the
know that.
victim, who did it, but they never found the remains. Well, that's important to them. They want to bring their loved ones home.
Right.
So we're working on that kind of stuff as well, with
James,
eDNA and stuff like that.
James says it is. Isn't it not classified a cold case? Let me tell you something about the state of Indiana. They never consider anything a cold case here. They don't. Like Carter said, Delphi wasn't a cold case when it was after 5 years by the National Justice Center. What is it, New York or one of those states? They considered this the Delphi case a cold case after 5 years, but Carter made clear it was not a cold case.
Mm, yeah, exactly. Do a better job of organizing it. Contact MSM. Get in touch with Debbie Lowry, perhaps. Get TV there. Journalists. There was clearly no such press release for Headswell. Yeah, I agree. We just need to get some eyes on this. The right eyes, not just some eyes. I was hoping that maybe Hannah Shakespeare, while she was in town, might have taken a look at it as well, because she has some outreach. And that's what this case needs. I mean, I'll support it however I can. I really will. And Steve and I have talked about it more than once. That's why we made that side trip to go there and see the house and see the town and stuff. Um, you hate to see something like this happen. Even if it was an accident, it's a tragedy. But as it turns out, it's not an accident. Somebody out there did this and they can sleep at night. It's
Oh, I'm
sad to
sure they're not
me.
sleeping very well, though. It's probably on
Yeah,
their conscience day in and day out.
I hope so. I hope so. Let me read this. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry about the cough. It's sad to me that these beautiful children have been passed over and there is no justice for those angels. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I can call Hannah. I can talk to
Yeah,
her
dude,
about it.
that would be great. I mean, I'll
I
talk to
saw.
Tim again. I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I know there's no more gatekeeping, there's no more secrets or anything like that. But I don't want to be the middleman. Thank you, Rescue. Absolutely. I don't want to be the middleman. I want him to talk to who he needs to speak to. You know. So
She brought the name out. You might as well say it.
who?
Jinx.
Oh, I'm not
She,
down
she
that road.
said. She said Tara screwed it up with Hannah.
Oh,
I know you were trying to
oh,
keep
did
from
she?
saying her name.
Well, I don't want to say anybody's name. You know, there's people hating on this Flora week. I don't see how you can do that. You know, I haven't seen any virtue signaling or people just looking for attention. Anything but. We're all deflecting attention towards this cause, not at each other. You know, we're trying to help out here. Thank you, Jinx. Thank you, and I'll do what I can. You know, I'll put him in touch. I know you've spoken with him, Jinx, and I think I know Kathy has as well.
Who's that, Tim?
Yeah, yeah, we had it all set up where he was going to get information. He was going to meet with somebody and grab the paperwork, but somebody blocked that. I don't know
Oh,
how. Yeah, if you piss Tim Corbett off, if you guys ever talk to this guy, you'll never walk away from him saying, I wonder what was on his mind. He'll tell you about your ass. And I'll have him on here if he agrees to come back on this case and stuff and we could work something out to get him the information. I'll have him on there here and you guys will get to see for yourself. Tim doesn't pull any punches at all. He's a hard-nosed old-time cop. And I like
he's
Tim.
very old school.
Yeah, we have great conversations. We do a lot of laughing. But he won't fuck around. Tim will not fuck around. He'll get to the bottom of this. If he can't solve it, he'll tell you why, where the roadblock is. So that's huge.
You know who he reminds me of? What's the old cop show with Robert Blake and the Cockatiel?
Oh, Beretta.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Beretta in a way.
Yeah, he's Tim's a good
Don't
guy.
take
What's
don't
up,
take shit
MOD?
from nobody. He don't put up with shit either.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Anna. But if we can just get this into the right hands, and I think Tim Corbett's a step in the right direction, and Hannah, we can get some pressure on these people to get some shit done. I mean, it's sitting on somebody's desk somewhere, Frank. You know, pick that file up and stop fucking working it. It's not fair what's happened here. It's not fair at all. And I'm a
Jinx,
nobody. You know, this is none of
shoot,
my business at the end of the day. But it's pissing me off. So you know it's going to piss other people off.
I'll keep my mouth shut about Tara
Yeah.
because
It's
I'll go. I'll keep going if I start.
yeah. Well, it's really not worth it. It's really
Mm-mm.
not worth it. But I'll
I mean,
keep
she
doing
really showed her
whatever I
true
can.
colors. She showed her true colors when it came to Jinx and Frosty and Kathy and whoever else was all involved with her. She showed her
Yeah.
true colors toward them. You know what I mean?
Apparently, she's pissed other people off. There's been other people who have not been happy with her either. But I mean, if that's what you want in your life, if you want drama, she got what she wanted, right? No worries. But we've been going just a little bit over an hour. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We need to get this word out. I could talk all day about facts of the case, but there's other folks that are doing it this week, and they're doing a fine job. Coach Kev did excellent. Mark and Frosty did excellent. Deb's video was outstanding, and I'm sure that Greeno and Marv and Kristen and you guys are going to bring the goods. So I didn't want to stepping on anybody's toe with facts. You know, want to leave enough meat on the bones for that. My concern is that we need to get this out there. None of our channels are big enough to get it to where it needs to be. So I'll start working on Tim. If you call Hannah,
Yep.
we can get something going on that side of the house, and maybe we can make some waves, do some good for these girls. All right, Frank, I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on. You know, I haven't really looked at this case in a couple of years, but I kind of try to follow a little bit here and there, and I'm just glad you brought me up.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate your help, man. It's nice to talk to somebody that's it's local there, that's been there and knows all these people in the chat. They know this case inside and out, but we just need to organize things, and get it into the right hands. But all right, that said, guys, listen, have a great night. I'm glad to see everybody. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I didn't expect this many people to come and watch this, to be honest with you. But I'm glad you did. Everybody in the chat's been gracious and kind, and I appreciate that. And listen, don't take any wooden nickels. What do you got to say to him, Frank?
Peace out. One love, guys.
I take it easy.
Take it easy, guys.